Namaste everyone. Hope the voice is clear. Raghuramji, please speak.
Yeah.
Yes,
Namaste.
crystal clear, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So I think can come forward to this side. So that we can. You be here only. Oh. So that you closer.
Yes.
Okay. Otherwise, I'll be
I know.
away from this. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. In the context of Dharma, what we have seen is that the Dharma is the essential component of a particular thing. Like, for example, the Dharma of the fire is to burn, Dharma of the water is to wet. This is what is the essential component of it. It is easy when we come to this fire, water, etc. But when it comes to the human being, then becomes very diverse because human being is so different. So therefore, it is necessary that we need to understand what is Dharma. The very definition itself says that which holds Dhara, and that's what is Dharma. And so fire, when it burns, that's why it is known as fire. If it stops burning, then you don't call it as fire. So therefore, that burning quality is the one which sustains the fire.
Yeah.
Wetting quality of the water sustains water. So that's how in the nature, this is the Dharma of various things. So when we come to a little more evolved at this in this particular platform, they say that being in the water is the Dharma of the fish. You can come out of the water. So flying in the air is the Dharma of the bird. So these are the various kinds of Dharma. So therefore, that within that there is this Dharma that is there. When it came to the human being, it's complex personality. So therefore, what happens is that when that's why we need to really clearly say that what is called as Swadharma. Swadharma is your own nature. Now, human being does not have only one Swadharma. At various levels, we have Swadharma. Swa means what helps to, what is my identification. It's not my ego, but my identification. That's what is Dharma. Like one identification is we are, of all the species, we are human being. I can never identify myself other than the human being. So this is what is Swadharma. There also that if I'm a man, if I'm a woman, that's also our Swadharma. So we have to follow the rules and regulations and ideas connected with that particular gender or whatever it is. So that's what is Swadharma. In fact, how much it is deep inside us is that you see that even if you dream, you will not become the other gender. You'll still be a girl only. I'll still be a boy only in the dream. I can never become like a girl. However much I like a girl, it does not mean that I become a girl. No. So this is the Swadharma. It doesn't change. And in fact, it is said that if somebody has shifted away from that human being Dharma, so drastically that he has become like an animal, then he will take the yoni of animal or the form of an animal. So generally we don't follow it, but then something like that it will happen. The story of Jadapartha comes like that, where that he was Brahmagyan, he was taking care of a deer. So dearly he was taking care of deer, he became one with the deer. He didn't have his ego at all.
Yeah.
Then he adopted the ego of the deer. So next life he became like a deer with all Brahmagyana. So that was there. So there was one movie that was there in long time back. I've seen in USA, and I might have shared that background behind it. It's a psychology movie with many people. So Mother is very nice, naive, beautiful, lovely girl, and then she takes care of her child. Child is very happy with the mother and eats and this nicely. They sung, they sing, all those things happen. And then she says, "Okay, finish, because dad is going to come, so you should go to the bed."
You should
And
go to
then
the
she-
bed.
You should
Oh,
go to the
oh,
bed.
okay.
So she put the child into the bed. The child does not sleep. She's in the bed, but then watching dad coming. And then this fellow comes. And the moment he comes, he is so aggressive, so shouting, voice like barking and all that. He was there like that. And whatever food that she prepared, and then this little girl liked it, all that happened. And she serves that food, and this person throws out. This is the way that you cook the food. You don't know how to cook. What is this? Oh, all kinds of howls that happen. After all those things, then, but he says, "Now I'm hungry. Feed me." What to do? And it's so beautiful. It shows that she goes to the refrigerator, fridge, and there is this canned dog food will be there. She opened that can of food, empties in a bowl, sticks into the microwave, heats it up, and then gives it to him. He eats it. Nice. He says. That means he identified himself with the dog so much. The way that he's shouting, the way that he was yelling, and all that. So this is what that means. A person identified himself with the dog so much, behavior has become dog. So the psychology says that so he lives a life of a dog, but actually I I can connect with this. Next life you will become like a dog because you are so much identified with the species of dog. You can't tolerate being a human being. So this is an extreme kind of a conditions where you change the yoni, you change the form that you have. So that is the idea. This is that this is what is Swadharma. Don't become anything less than a human being anytime. So therefore, the most important thing is humanness of the human being has to be manifested. Wherever it is possible, manifest the humanness of human. That means I see the fellow human being. I see that I preserve the fellow human being. I take care of a fellow human. This is what is a Swadharma as a human being that we have. So many times what happens is that my boundary, that means my ego, mine, will come in the way that I will not become, I will not remain as human being with somebody else. I try to go down saying that no, I don't want to take care of you. You go your way, I go my way. It's not like that. I have to take care of them. So this itself is something which we require in the form of humanness of human. That's what is a thing. Apart from that, then we have another Swadharma like that. Like for example, um, the role that we play is also our Swadharma. Like for example, I'm a mother. Mother's role I have to play. As a father, it's a father's role I have to play. Because basically, when you are not just become a mother, you just not become like a father. You became the father along with the fatherly qualities. Mother become motherly responsibilities. How beautifully it is said in the Vedanta that the world says the child born, but Vedanta says mother is born.
Yeah,
Until that time, she was a little girl, college going girl, and all that. She got married, but suddenly she became a mother. Actually, I would say that even before even mother, even the wife is something which is born again. How the transformation you can see it so simply, so easily that the attitude changed of the girl. She suddenly became like a wife and take care of the house. That's why Granny. She takes care of the house. So all that transformation has happened. It's so beautifully said that that X and Y, that X is man and Y is a woman. Birthdays may be different, but X husband, wife, Y wife, birthday is the same.
Hey, both will be.
Yeah. Husband and wife are born on the same day.
Same. Nice. Interesting.
So your individual birthdays may be different.
So
but
mother and
husband
child
wife-
also.
Yeah, same way mother and child.
Father and child.
Look at the whole thing, father and child. So it's such an intimate connection that we have created. So that means it's a dharma. You have that dharma, therefore you are born like that. Your dharma, therefore that. So this is what is Swadharma. Now look at the way that how complicated it is. That means to say at various layers we have various dharma. So all these things we need to take care of it. Apart from that, we have also to take care of the role that we have adapted. Father, mother is something, but I take care of the dharma of a particular job. So therefore that I have to take care of that dharma. This is also my swadharma. Like, for example, if I'm given a position, say you are the prime minister. Prime minister, that means it's a role. It is your dharma to take care of the role. You can't say anything less than that. I'm 100% you should understand your behavior. Because basically what happened is society has seen in you the ability to be a prime minister. So therefore you have to an ability to be the leader of opposition. You have to take that particular. So there is essentially this dharma of that king. However, he may be a different person, but the moment that he becomes king, then he has to have that dharma. This is what in the case of Janaka said very, very beautifully. He says that Janaka is the king, and then Ashtavakara comes there. And Ashtavakara comes there, and the way that Ashtavakara was, actually Yajnavalkya is giving lessons, and all the pandits are sitting, and then Ashtavakara walks in, calling dad for lunch. So, and then the way that is, the name itself, Ashtavakra means 8 different deformities that is there. So while walking, he has all kinds of problems. So when he comes there, all these pandits laugh at him, looking at the way that he came. Ashtavakra uh, asks dad, mom says that you should come for food. He says that no, I'm coming. Just give me another 10, 15 minutes or half an hour. I'll finish this talk and then come. And then just Ashtavakra says, what is that Vedanta you're giving to these cobblers? Cobblers means shoemakers. Don't say shoemakers. Well, father reprimands the son. And okay, finish. But then Janka didn't leave it. So he holds on to that. He says, why did you say that they are cobblers, they are shoemakers? He says that their perception is skin deep. They do not see what am I, they only look at my deformities which are there outside. That means your perception is not going deeper than the physical body. How can you consider that they are pandits? See that? Wow, Janaka immediately says, then can you teach me? That is where we say Ashtavakra Gita came up. So it's for Janaka. So therefore, what happens is
Before he became Rajarishi, you say? Janaka.
Janaka
Janaka was
was
also very
already
learned person,
Maharshi.
no?
Yeah. In spite of the fact that
Instead
he's a
of that, he
Maharshi,
thought,
see, because he's Maharshi recognized,
yeah.
he did not find fault with Ashtavakra.
Yeah.
Ashtavakra's father was saying, hey, don't say this thing
Yeah.
because it's insulting the people. But Janaka did not feel that it is insulting people. He must have had
He
some sense
recognized
behind
that
it.
he's
So what is that
first
reason?
is Ashtavakra Gita, then Bhagavad
Yeah.
First.
So that's how basically Ashtavakra Gita came. And it's also very nice. When the moment he says you do Ashtavakra Gita, Ashtavakra gives the first chapter. He's only testing Janaka's ability to receive Gita.
Adhikara.
Adhikara. Janaka passes that, then Ashtavakra says, okay, now I'll give you the other chapter. So the whole Ashtavakra Gita goes like that. Okay? So essentially that he was a king, he behaved like a king. It so happened that these, Ashtavakra, the Janaka was this organized this particular Goshti. Goshti is the gathering where all the pandits were there, and then Yajnavalkya is giving lessons. And then every time Yajnavalkya says certain things, he looks at Janaka and says, do you agree with that? Yeah, accept it. Or do you have any objection to it? Janaka says, no, it's fine. mind. When this is happening, the Pandits were having a kind of a feeling that what is this? He's supposed to be a great saint, but he takes the approval of a king. That means he wants the attachment to the king's. So you please him, so that king will give more riches and all that. All that they had an idea. And there are a lot of stories like this. Yajnavalkya, but here in this story he says that they feel like that it's in their mind and probably in their discussion also. I don't know why that Yajnavalkya is seeking the favors of king, so that king will give them money. But then probably God wanted or something like that to teach a lesson that how disconnected Janaka is about. So it so happened that where all the tents were there, all the saints were there, at that point, Pandits were there. Suddenly somebody comes and announces him that all the tents caught fire. Then immediately all these people, they were in the middle of the satsang, they just left and ran away. Oh, my kapuina, my this is my kamandal is there, my this thing is there, my little. You see, just small little simple things. For that, they ran, leaving the satsang. That became so important. Couple of days later, then he came. The fellow comes and announces that king, your treasure caught fire. And then Janaka says, sorry, people have to take care of it. Mithilayam pratiptayam nakinchit bhavishyati. Even I'm not worried about the treasure. Come on, Yajnavalkya, continue to discuss about it. See, that means to say, though he has all that, he has no attachment. And that's why Janaka, when Yajnavalkya looks at Janaka, because Janaka doesn't have attachment. It's not because they. So that's what the teaching that Janaka is there. So you may be at that position where you need to take care of all those things, but you don't have attachment with that. It's not yours. Nothing belongs to you. So this is the kind of feeling. So dharma is that where you take care of it, but you have no attachment. Such a subtle way that you look at it.
That is called samyama, no?
It's all part of samyama. Samyama is all these things. There's one more similar kind of thing in the Yajnavalkya's condition. That there is similarly this competition like this argument going on. So who wins will have 1,000 cows, something like that. Yajnavalkya, as soon as he comes, he says that his son or his servant, he says that take all the cows to our yards. When discussions have not started, but Yajnavalkya already started, then he's going to win it. Is it arrogance? It's not arrogance because there during that time, Yajnavalkya gives a explanation. For our discussion, I don't want the cows to stay in the sun. So let the cows go to the shelter.
But we will perceive as different, no?
Yeah, we perceive it as different. So these are all the people who have understood dharma, but then human is there behind it. The compassion, these things that are there. So you may be a king, but you have to have compassion, love, these things that are there. This is what is Swadharma. Just because that I follow my Swadharma, I should not give up my compassion, I should not give up my concern for the others and all those things. My Swadharma is there. Now, like for example, my Swadharma may be something which is very outwardly looking, it may be very difficult, but inside, it's only Swadharma, I have no attachment with that. That's why we have the story of Dharma Vyadha also. See, Dharma Vyadha. Vyadha means basically one who cuts the meat and sells meat. That's his business. But he is doing this meticulously and he's collecting the money and all that argument. But at the same time, he doesn't have attachment with that. So therefore, this Kaushik, when it goes to that lady says, my teacher is there, Dharma Vyadha, go to him. And when this Kaushik comes there and looks at Dharma Vyadha, seeing that selling meat, this fellow is my teacher, and this fellow is our teacher, and then he was really confused. He said, he may not be the teacher. Dharma Vyadha looks at Kaushik from behind and says, hey Kaushik, come here. How does he know my name? And then says that the lady sent, from the next village. How does he know? Yeah, come here. I'm the Dharma Vyadha. She asked. do it. I finish all these things and then I go home to do it. So Swadharma is there that you have to do dispassionately, and but at the same time, love, compassion, all those things should be there. You know, a lot of times this Swadharma, people translate it as duty. Actually, duty does not have the sentiment behind it, emotion behind it.
The post.
Yeah,
Talk in karma in that way.
yeah,
It's my duty, I have to do.
it's my duty. It's not your duty. As a son, I have to do my duty towards mother. My God, any complicated Harry can do the duty. Your son, so son to the mother, it's not duty, it is Swadharma. The Swadharma is much beyond the duty because love, compassion, concern, all those things are there. In fact, that is the extraordinary thing about the Swadharma, say whether it is Hanuman that he has taken up. In recently also that our Dr. S. V. Shankar, somebody asked, who is the most important, best diplomat in your idea? He says that Hanuman is my best diplomat. I said, why do you say that? And he gave a very beautiful explanation. He said that you give one job, it has 100 jobs behind it, which is glorifying that job. That only thing that is go find out Sita and come back. That's the job he's given. But look at the way that he went, and of course that he has done, found out Sita and came back and reported. But apart from that, how many things, because in the situation that you get so many other things to come. One thing is that Sita lost her confidence and she was jumping into the fire. He gave her confidence. He said, Rama is searching for you. And he says, Rama is more powerful. He should come and take, otherwise I can take back. See what kind of an issue. Second thing is he has to exhibit his strength of his king to the enemy's king and warn him. So therefore he went to, took permission of Sita, went all the way to Ravan's Darbar. And then he said, okay, you see, burn the whole half of the king Lanka. And then you see, if I can do it, my king definitely can do much more than that. He said that. Not only that, that's what he said so beautifully. For burning the Lanka, Lanka is Ravan's. The cloth that they tied to his is also Ravan's. And the oil they used is also Ravan's. And the fire they used is also Ravan's. Everything is his own. And then he used it with zero expenses that he did all that and then came back. So that means to say how much of passion must be there behind it. It's not just like a simple duty. So this is what is the idea of Dharma. Dharma, if you do it, that means all that which is covering around everything, come back and do it. Normally what happens is that if there is something which comes in the way, no, I could not do it. Why? Because the train got delayed or because this happened. Some silly reason we escape from that. The moment it is Swadharma, then you don't escape from that. Any silly reason. You hold on to that. In fact, the Rana Pratap serial, they have shown that. Rana Pratap wanted to become, take to sannyasa because Meera, his own grandmother, was a sannyasi. So he was very inspired by Meera.
Okay.
Actually, when Meera was there, the satsang, for that Akbar also went and also Rana Pratap, both of them went there as friends. And then Rana Pratap was inspired. He said that I would also become like a sannyasi. So the whole kingdom was really shaken because they were hoping so much on Rana Pratap, but he wanted to become a sannyasi. So what to do? Then person that they said we can really help to understand, correct the situation, address the situation, is Meera. Because Meera is a great, by that time she became popular. So they came and Uday came and requested Meera, see, my son Rana Pratap wanted to do like this. So can you please tell him that he should not do? He said, don't worry, let him come. How peacefully she says. And then Rana Pratap comes to her and she says, gives a pot. He says, get the pot of milk. And then Rana Pratap goes to the village to get the milk, bringing it. This Akbar knew because Akbar was there with Rana Pratap. So Mughal Sena came and obstructed his path. But he wanted to become saint, so he doesn't want to fight and all that. So somehow he escaped all that, and then in the process that the pot broke. And a small little piece of pot was there. In that milk was there. Somehow he saved it and then brought it to Meera and said, "This is what is." Said, "I asked to bring a pot of milk. So what is that you want?" Then he didn't have an answer. You see, this happens because a king is not doing king's duty. If a king would have done the king's duty, then I would have got the pot of milk. Simple thing. So Rana Pratap got his message and he went back. He said, if I cannot bring a pot of milk to my Meera, in what way I can save this kingdom? This happens like this to me, this happens to people like that. At once he changed. So therefore, basically, this Swadharma is a responsibility. So if I'm a king, it's my responsibility to see that I take care of the kingdom. A message is given by Mirabai. She's a bhakta. So Swadharma is so complex and complicated in that sense at various levels that we have. More important thing is Swadharma is that the activity that you are doing is basically based on your own sattva rajas tamas that is there. So the combination of sattva rajas tamas has given you that role to play. I'm Rajasic, therefore I'm a king. I'm Sattvic, therefore I'm a Brahman. So therefore, this role is also given to me because of my nature. So I have to follow that nature. So that's how basically our people have behaved the way that their Swadharma. A king really fought the kingdom for war. A Kshatriya fought the war, and a Brahmana analyzed the war. So therefore, the Swadharma is like this. Now, what happens is that in this hierarchy, there is another thing is that Brahmana is supposed to be one who can do anything. Shudra to Vaishya to Kshatriya to Brahmana, he should be capable of doing it, whichever role he takes. Same thing, Kshatriya can take up Kshatriya or Vaishya and Shudra role. And Vaishya can be able to take the Shudra role. So this is what is the way the hierarchy is. That's why we have in Mahabharata such great Brahmanas, like for example, Drona and Krupacharya. They are acharyas, but they have taken the role of, when the fight war is there, they were the soldiers to fight the war. They are leader of the soldiers to fight the war. So they have taken up that dharma. So Brahmana can take up the role of that. Similarly, you see, it is like the way that when in the primary school we learned alphabets. In the middle school that we have learned sentences and this and that. And later on that we learn the stories and then philosophy. Does not mean we have given up the alphabets. So it is actually built on top of it. So therefore, that white Shudra is the foundation for all of us. Imagine that what is the concept that it is. Shudra is not rejected. Never in our concept that Shudra is something which is there. We are capable of doing it. Yes, I can clean my house, I can do all that. Whatever that is Shubhra, actually it comes from Shubhra. That activity I can do it. But when there is necessary, I do it. But otherwise, I'm a Brahmana. So therefore, I think and plan and scheme and all those things. I become a Kshatriya when necessity arises. I can give up Brahmanas for a moment and take up the Kshatriya and do it because that's what is my capacity. So a person who can take all these roles, depending upon the situation, is the person who is following the Swadharma. So now you can see that Swadharma, that
Complicated.
but our scriptures give us very clearly that Rama, Swadharma, yes, he was peaceful, he was meditating and all those things, but war came, he fought the war. He took the role. Similarly, as I said, the role of Drona and Kripacharya. See, they were Brahmanas. How could they fight war? Yes, they can fight the war. They can do that because that is Swadharma for them. When the situation of the war comes, they have to participate in the war. I cannot say no. As a Brahmana, I have to participate in the war. So, and similarly, we had Parashurama, who was also a Brahmana. but the way that he has done everything. So therefore, basically, that the Swadharma at various levels we have to apply. Now, when we understand and apply the Swadharma, in that, even if you perish, it is fine.
Even if you perish.
Perish, it's also fine. That's why Krishna gives the idea to Arjuna, Swadharme nidhanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavahaha. That means to say, you adopt the paradharma. And why do we adopt paradharma? It is not because of the need, but because of the you are carried away by somebody else's dharma. See, you are attracted by somebody else's dharma. Therefore, you did not follow your dharma.
Okay.
My dharma basically is intellectual, and when a situation comes, yes, if I need to take care of some business, my own accounts, I can take care of it. But if I'm attracted by somebody else, like for example, a war situation, I can take up. CEO work, I can take up. But just because somebody is earning more money because of being a CEO, I cannot take up that kind of an activity because I'm intellectual.
Yeah.
This is what happened, the mistake. I always say that. IIT fellow is also absorbed by Microsoft, and an ordinary Bangalore Bangalore Engineering College student also absorbed
Mm.
in Microsoft, everything is the same, given the same kind of work. But then that person who is from Bangalore Ordinary Engineering College is a Kshatriya. So that means he can lead a team. So therefore he takes up a startup company, it grows very well, he makes money out of it.
Yeah.
And the IIT guy says that, okay, Ari, this fellow can make Bangalore College, he can make money, I should also make money. So he also starts a startup. But he's intellectual. He doesn't work with that. So naturally what happens? He ends up having hypertension.
And becomes
So
a
that-
workaholic also.
Huh?
Because they do themselves. They cannot.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. So paradharma is that you are attracted by this somebody else's way of activity. And what is that? It's not the activity which has attracted you, but there is some extraneous factor attracted you. Extraneous factor is money. He makes $1 million a year, whereas I don't make that kind of money. So therefore, I follow him. It's not the work that I followed. Actually, I followed that $1 million. It's anyway not your. I've seen that, Nobel laureates. I met them in Cambridge also. They are there. We know very good friend in Austin. But they're small little house. They don't have big houses or anything like that. But they're no geniuses inside. But then they did not imagine about having some big mentions and this and that. They were living. They did not imitate somebody else.
So that.
Yes, they followed the Swadharma. In fact, so much of a Swadharma that I followed that they followed. This man, physics man, he is capable of guiding post PhD candidates. Yeah, big ideas that he gives. And this person, I asked him casually, who do you want to teach in your college? He said, entry level undergraduates and graduates, I teach them. I said, why do you teach that? He said, basics, they should have good foundation. So therefore I teach them. But I have the PhD people, they come to me and then I guide them. But when I teach only these people. So come to the ground level. That's what I do. So teaching is your ability, teaching is your nature, that you give it. So Swadharme nidharam sheya paradharmo bhayavaha. Bhayavaha in the sense that if you see paradharma, that means somebody else is doing, so I follow that. Then what happens is that as long as it is working all right, you enjoy that. But the moment there is a problem comes, you don't know where to go because your dharma does not give the solution at that time. Again, you have to run to that fellow, said, this is what is lost, so what do you do? A businessman, a CEO, a Kshatriya can do it his own way. But if you are not a Kshatriya, then you get lost into that. So that's why don't imitate because of that. A situation comes, you do it. That's why Krishna says, Swadharme nidharam sheya paradharme bhayavaha. And here in the battlefield, Arjuna's Swadharma is to fight the war. He is a Kshatriya. He cannot go and sit down And because basically you want to sit down and meditate, leave everything and go to the forest, it is basically is trying to follow paradharma. All right, you win the war. After all those things, then you rise yourself to a level of Brahman in doing meditation, that you do it. Go to the forest and do it. But why don't go? Because that you want to avoid the war. And that's what clearly says Arjuna. I cannot fight my own grandfather, my own this thing, therefore that my own teacher. Therefore I go to the forest. Actually, in the whole of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is waiting for Krishna's approval. But useless fellow Krishna never gives an approval for something. He puts him back into the warfare because he's meant for that. That's what is the idea.
So paradharma, it can lead to escapism.
Absolutely right. Paradharma becomes escapism. Paradharma leads to greed. And most important thing, paradharma is, it can lead you to adharma. See, you are capable of, then in order to succeed in that paradharma, you will tell lie and you will do murder, you can do
Correct.
anything.
Nowadays happening like this.
Yes.
Nowadays.
See, we don't understand this
Correct.
principle so clearly. That's why we get lost in that.
Duryodhana then was completely in paradharma, is it? Because he
That
was
is
carried away with
Duryodhana.
Shakuni.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, he's carried away by greed.
no own ideas.
Jealousy and greed.
Yeah.
If he were to be a Kshatriya, he is fine. As a Kshatriya, it's okay. But Kshatriya also has certain rules and regulations. That's what is dharma. I said that it has to follow the compassion, etc., etc. All those things have to be there along with that. We cannot give it up. Your nature is there, for that you are a Kshatriya. But apart from that, yet I have all these components which was not there with him.
Okay.
Which was not there. So he followed a totally different idea.
But he is showing only Karna that situation.
In that whole situation, Karna is the only person.
Yeah.
Because basically one of these aspects of dharma is that I said about the Satya. Satya is that I promise and then I hold on to the promise. I do not go away from the promise. In Ramayana, Rama says like that, I promised my father that I will go to the forest. Now I don't go back on that promise. So that's why when Kaikeyi says, Rama, why don't you hurry up, in the forest? Because it's getting dark. So wildlife will be there and all that, you'll be safe to go now itself. She's heading into the forest for 40 years. And she says, no, it will be safe if you go now itself. Don't delay too much, it's dark. That means actually in her mind, she's pushing Rama. Because you see, the problem with her is the others are there, they are continuously advising Rama, don't go to the forest. So he might change his attitude.
Changes.
So he might change. That's the only moment Rama replies to her in a stern voice, saying that, what? What do you think of Rama? Ramo dvir napi bhashate. If I haven't given a word, I follow the word. Don't think that I'm a common man. That one occasion that Rama says like that to Kaikeyi. I'm going anyway. Ramo dvir napi bhashate. There is no two tongues of Rama. Never knows about that. So that is the. So how, and later also when it goes to the forest, where they again come and then Kaikeyi also falls at his feet and they say, come on, come back. He says, I've given a word. It's not between you and me, between me and my father. I've given a word to my father.
So that's why you support Kumbhakarna supporting Rama.
Yeah. Right. So you can see several occasions where how beautifully that dharma people have gone to it. Now Shastras.
So it was his, so Kumbhakarna, of course, Kshatriya, it was his Swadharma as a brother to support
Yes. Because he has given a word, come what may, I will fight the war, that's what is Kshatriya. But then I will be on your side fighting the war. Whether it is supposed to be right or wrong, I don't even question it. Because I have given a word, I follow that. That's why it says that I will.
So then how do you explain Vibhishana?
Vibhishana tried to explain his son, brother. Right from the beginning, he was trying to educate. In fact, that's what is even Kumbhakarna quotes. See, Kumbhakarna is bound by the promise. Because Kumbhakarna is supposed to stay for 365 days. So Ravan is supposed to take care of him. And then he said, in turn, when necessary, I will take care of you. That is what is. Kumbhakarna was not bound by any of these promises. Kumbhakarna was a brother, Vibhishana. So Vibhishana was trying to educate Ravan. Don't do this. And it gives all the evidences are there. And then you didn't follow that.
He did a swadharma of telling Ravana,
Ravan,
and then
yes.
he didn't listen, so he
Right.
went.
Went there.
And then he did a swadharma of being with Rama as a
Yes.
Kshatriya.
Yes. A Kshatriya.
Lot of introspection, self-understanding is required
Yeah.
to know what is one's swadharma.
Right.
Otherwise it's very
you know,
confusing.
But more important than you is, at any point of time, is my activity motivated by some other reason or just Swadharma?
So that.
See, then Swadharma will come out shining. If you drop all the other motivations behind it, I'll make profit by this, I will do, at least I will save my skin from war. All these things are there. Then Swadharma goes to the background. You see that other motivations are coming up. Motives are coming up. There's no motive, then Swadharma is there.
So the intention is in.
Yes.
For example, she is a musician.
Yeah.
So her swadharma is.
Now
what is
there are,
confusion?
see, now that Swadharma, now complications come into the picture. There are two Swadharmas which clash with each other. One Swadharma is that I have to do certain thing. Other Swadharma says I have to go against it. Like for example, I have to protect my husband.
Okay.
For the lady who husband was actually a traitor. He was working against the kingdom, against India. Now what to do? Should I protect my husband? Or should I kill him and hand him over to the freedom service? So there is your dharma towards your husband, dharma towards your kingdom.
So which is bigger?
Which is the one, now they are clashing with each other. So which Swadharma do you follow? See, now Swadharma becomes more complicated.
Some ladies got up.
And we have so many such situations. Like, let me go back to, once again, the earlier
You
example
mean
that I.
Duryodhana's wife?
Correct.
Duryodhana's wife. But Duryodhana didn't, she advised that afterwards she died. Bhanumati died. But more important thing is the case of this Bhagiratha. See, Bhagiratha's case, father, his Jamadagni, said, cut off your mother's head. All the brothers said, otherwise.
Parshurama.
Parshurama. Okay. And then cut off your mother's head. Then the brothers, they said, we don't cut off, because Matrudevo Bhava, mother is a god. No, I'll kill you. Okay, kill. So he makes them kill. Then Parshurama comes, cut off mother's head. So he cut off mother's head. Because Pitrudevo Bhava, father's order he follows. Father is pleased. Now who is right, who is wrong? Other brothers, are they right? Or Parshurama is right? If Parshurama is right, the others should be wrong. Others are right, then Parshurama should be wrong. You see? Complicated issue. Both of them are right. But then apparently both of them are doing the activity which is opposite each other. Don't look at the work behind it. Look at the intention behind it.
Okay.
Now, he gave Matrudevo Bhava. Mother is God, the others followed it. 100% right. He followed Pitrudevo Bhava. But was there any self-importance in that particular thing? If you look at it, then you see this followed by, immediately he says, okay, I will grant you 2 boons or 3 boons, whatever that you ask. So first thing he says that, look, Dad, you are normally not like this. There is some anger has overpowered you. That's why you are behaving like that. Give up your anger. Immediately gave up his anger.
Right.
First thing. And then he asked, what is the next one? Bring back my son, brothers. back to life. He brought them back into life. He knew that the father can do it. So that means there is nothing for himself. There was no ego behind it. There is no self in front. Why I said we did not follow the Swadharma in the other cases is we have some extraneous reason, profit motive, this motive, that motive. Here he didn't have any motive. That's why he is also right. That fellow is also right. Both these things are right. And the same situation that Shasiji always used to quote, that during the freedom struggle, that there was a clarion call given by the Gandhiji and the freedom fighters that come and join the freedom struggle. A lot of people left home and then went to join. But then some people that their aged parents will be there, so therefore that we have to take care of it. They stayed back. They didn't go to that. So is this right? Is that right? Both of them are right, because it's not for the sake of personal reason that they have gone to the. So one of the most important aspect of dharma is give up your ego. That's what is prema. That's what is tyaga. Tyaga is basically, I'm not finding fault with the object outside, but I don't need that. That means my need, myness, I give it up. So my preference is not that. So therefore I give it up.
Okay.
So therefore that person who left people back at home and went and joined the freedom struggle, they were also good dharmatmas. And people who stayed back home taking care of the parents till the last moment, they were also dharmatmas. There was nothing like, just because they act outside, you see that, you cannot decide whether somebody is dharmic or not dharmic. If you look at that way, look at the way Shankaracharya, Kal came when he was 7-year-old. Mother was alone. He went away. And father also died. 7-year-old's father died, and 8-year-old, he went away from home. He was very cruel, leaving the mother behind. But look at the way that he said, wherever I may be, the moment you call me, I will come. He was there in, Kedarnath, and his mother remembered him. He came all the way from Kedarnath, and then mother died in his lap. There was nobody to take care of mother because he was a sannyasi. So sannyasi's mother, so nobody was come to give food. He carried her on his back and then took her to the cremation ground and cremated her. There are so many dharmas violated in that sense. Like, for example, a sannyasa is not supposed to belong to family. A sannyasa cannot do the last rites for his parents and all. But he did everything. There was no ego in that.
So it's dharmic.
Dharmic. So don't, now it also gives us the idea, how many people get caught up into the rituals rather than the spirit behind it.
Yeah.
So dharma has that spirit behind it. Don't get caught up. That's what Krishna says. It's not that you are fighting the war, but it's the spirit behind fighting the war. You have to fight the war. Because the whole dharma, establishing dharma, is resting on your shoulder. So that's why Sadharma Nidhanam Shreya Paradharma Bhayavaha.
So you told about the wife in trouble, whether she needs to support her husband or support the country.
Nation card. She supported nation's cause. The extraordinary lady.
Because she saw a bigger
Yes, a
cause.
bigger purpose. She said, okay.
But what if the wife supports the husband?
It's okay.
Like Mandodari.
Right.
That's,
okay.
that's also.
That's also okay.
That's why she.
But,
that's why she is.
Yes. In fact, there are so many occasions where wife supports husband in all kinds of things, and then she became Pativrata. Like Sati. What's her name? Savitri. Savitri, of course,
Savitri.
no,
Satyavan
Sati. Satyavan Savitri is another, and Sati Sukanya is another one. Sukanya's husband says he was a leprosy patient, and she would carry him in this thing. And he would say, take me to the prostitute's house. And then she would take him there and leave him there till he finishes and then comes out, carries him again back home. It was that kind of an act. There's no question of ego in that. And she was so powerful that one day God wants it. No, son, don't set.
Yeah.
And she had that power not to.
Anasuya or somebody.
Anasuya also like that. Anasuya make all these gods as children
Yeah.
and fed them.
Okay.
Because the condition they put is that we are, see, they come like Brahmins. They say that she has to serve
Feed
us
us, yeah.
vivastra. But, and the Atithi, she has to take care of it. So Atithi Dharma. Okay, all right, I will send. And then she makes all of them as small little kids.
Yeah.
They just don't know. And then she feeds them.
Yeah.
And after feeding them, then they're happily playing and all that. These ladies will see, Parvati, Saraswati, and they were worried, Lakshmi, what happened to our husbands? They have not come back home. So whether they lost them. So they came. Okay. And Narada is the fellow who gives all the information. Narada says, they are there with Savitri. So they came to Savitri. Savitri says, my husband said, oh, yeah, your husbands? I don't know that. Some three kids came. So I was taking care of these kids. But I think if they are husband, you take it. And who is who? You children are just like that. Then they didn't know what to do, this all the three kids are like kids and all that playing and all. They couldn't recognize. Then they once again, I can't help it. But then what to do? You fall at the feet of Savitri, I mean, Anasuya. She will bring them back to, she says, because her power is like that. Now these ladies fall at the feet of, and then she puts the mantra jala and they come back. So that's why there is another thing, that she is supposed to be the mother of all these three gods. So Dattatreya, Anasuya is. Then they said we have to really be born then. So born as Dattatreya. All these stories.
So basically, if we need points,
Yeah.
if we are caught up in situation
Yes.
where we don't know this is right or this is
Right.
right. So first we need to see that whether there is any ego.
Ego.
in.
Second thing
Second
is,
is
yeah. Is there any personal advantage that I'm looking for?
intention, my intention, whether
Yeah.
it is for my own need.
Third also is one more thing is that do I have anything against that person, against one or the other? See, you are not driven by any other force.
That is, it's not like my like or dislike.
Yeah, your likes and dislikes do not.
That also is ego only.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Suppose there's a Vaishya. His Swadharma is to make profit.
No. Swadharma of a Vaishya is to, you see, Vaishya Swadharma is, he knows about the material, where it is, what is the worth of it. Profit making is his nature. Anything he takes up, he will make profit out of it. Even profit making is not a dharma. It's his nature. But it naturally happens. When he takes up something, that profit happens.
Yeah.
Kshatriya, when he takes up the job, killing somebody is nothing a problem for him. It's just easy. Whether I really need to kill him, that's what is one thing that he looks at.
So it is more about the skill. Means the
Yes,
Vaishya
yes.
has the knowledge of the skill of the material,
Right,
and
skill
then,
of material.
Kshatriya has the skill of
Yeah.
fighting the war.
Right.
That,
That's why I give the example of Gandhiji is a banya, he means a businessman. He knew the worth of salt. Salt can get the freedom of the country and he can shake the British government. He knew it. Who could think that salt can do that? That's what is the ability of a Kshatriya, Vaishya. Ability of a Brahmana is that you give him any question, any problem. He will analyze, he will find out a solution for that. That's his ability. It's not a tension for him.
ಬಟ್ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂನು ಅವ್ರದೇ ಆದಂತ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ವಧರ್ಮ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅವ್ರವ್ರದೇ ಆದಂತ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ವಧರ್ಮ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಇವಾಗ
ಕ್ಷತ್ರಿಯ, ವೈಶ್ಯ, ಶೂದ್ರ is Swadharma.
Yeah, Swadharma.
Vaishya is Swadharma. Kshatriya is Swadharma. Brahmana is Swadharma.
Correct.
But again, the Vaishya, Shudra Swadharma is something which, that means to say, is doing an activity, he just does not complain. Any amount of activity you suggest, he complains. And the Vaishya, the other caste, if there is a situation of Shudra has to happen, they can do the activity of Shudra. They are capable of art. Similarly, the next level, that is what is Vaishya. Vaishya has to do the material, but there is no Vaishya, but the material has to go. A Brahmana can do that activity. A Kshatriya can do that activity. Similarly, fighting the war, it is necessary that we need to enter into the fighting the war. A Brahmana can also enter into the fighting the war. He can do that.
Temporary.
But it's only crisis management. A crisis management, I can become a Kshatriya, but I cannot become a Kshatriya all the time.
Correct.
Right.
So this explains about Mandodari. Because I always
Yeah.
wondered when Rama has come to the shore, it'd be nice for her to leave Ravana and go and fall at the feet of Rama. No, I
Yeah.
kind of each time I used to think, but she goes and tries to console Ravana.
Yeah.
Give back
Oh,
Sita,
how
give
much
back
she's-
Sita.
yes.
She keeps telling him. But
Right. But he doesn't listen.
But she is also following some Swadharma, no? Mandodari also.
Mandodari follows Swadharma. First of all, Mandodari is a girl,
Yeah.
lady, so she followed Swadharma of a
Swadharma.
lady. Second thing is she followed as a queen.
Correct.
So as a queen that she took care of everything. But then she also she is queen advising Ravan, not only as a queen, as her wife. So she did all that in case of Sita. That means all the kind of things that she did it. In spite of it, Ravan went for war. Then look at her Swadharma. That means now, you see, the word that she said is so beautiful. I said, my husband is also knowledgeable, and you are also knowledgeable. My husband is also tapasvi. Extraordinary. You are also Gahata. And my husband is also valor, warrior. And you are also a warrior. But only one thing that is different is my husband was arrogant.
Yeah.
Whereas you are compassionate.
Compassion.
That's why I bowed in front of
Um,
her. There's such a clear picture that she has in front of her.
that's why she comes under the Pancha.
Yeah, right. It doesn't matter where you are born, what you are born for, and all that. But you can become an extraordinary person being there.
Yeah.
That's why Mandodari is such an
So
extraordinary.
Tara also being Vali's wife, so arrogant and everything also.
Right.
Used to keep.
Tara didn't have anything against Roma.
Yeah.
See, when Roma was brought, Tara didn't have anything against Roma. Roma was like her child. She took care of him. Roma? Sugriva's wife. That's an extraordinary thing is that our Puranas, all these stories, they took care of all these subtleties about Dharma.
That's where we misunderstand.
Yeah.
Since we don't understand.
People don't understand that. And another thing is that if I sit down and talk about Ramayana, I will not get into all these details.
Yeah.
So that's why when situation like this and Dharma discussions go on, then all these things come up.
Because again, the discussion always come about Bhishma and Draupadi Vastra.
Yeah.
His Swadharma was to be with the promise and protect the kingdom.
Right.
Still, that always doesn't register for me.
It so happened, when
again and again you repeat the stories.
Fascinating situations are like this, that when Kandavana, I mean not Kandavana, it was the Lakshagraha. Lakshagraha was being burnt. See how Vidura is so beautiful. There are 5 people, artisans, who created all that. And then Lakshagraha. But they didn't know that Lakshagraha will be set on fire. So he said that 5 people, hey, you are the people who have built all those things. So there's a celebration. Why don't you go in that building? Night you go for celebration. Yeah, serve liquor and all those things. So they were very happy with all that. And he planned in such a way that he built a tunnel to see that all these people escape. 5 people.
Right.
So these people escape. And then as soon as they escape, they should set fire to the building. And these 5 people were there inside. So they got burnt.
The one who built
Artisans.
it,
Artisans, they got burnt. So next day, they said that yes, we see 5 charred bodies. That means all the Pandavas died here.
That is Paradharma, no, sir?
What Paradharma?
That 5 people is burned, no, inside.
But
For a bigger cause.
see, the cause, there is no Paradharma here.
Yeah.
See, Vidura is supposed to see that he has to protect
Correct.
Pandavas.
Oh.
And not only that, he should not get any, leave any suspicion in the people that Pandavas did not die. Pandavas have to be dead. That means 5 charred bodies have to be there. Yeah, this is what is basically Raja Dharma.
Basically, it is not because he likes the Pandavas. He knows that the
He
Pandavas
knows
are.
that Pandavas are meant for.
Yeah.
certain
So
bigger
there was no
cause.
ego.
Yeah, there is
preference
nothing
in
like
this
that.
Dharmic action.
So then, but another thing is, see, this is a very simpler idea. But much bigger idea is that everything has to be ordered by Bhishma. But Vidura didn't take the order of Bhishma. He didn't even tell him. Because Vidura is very tactical.
Yeah.
Tactical. So Pandavas were escaped. And once he came to know that Pandavas escaped and Lakshagura burned, and Lakshagura is the place where the Pandavas were there, and then Pandavas died because the charred bodies were there. Vidura knew now this message is going to Bhishma. He has to save Bhishma. Came running to Bhishma's place. Already Bhishma is not there in the palace. And then he rushes to Ganga because that's where Bhishma was. And Bhishma has already gone to Ganga, about to drown himself in Ganga. Ganga says, "You're a courageous man. Just because something happened, you should not give up your body. Go back. You cannot come back now. Your life is there." So Bhishma was desperate. He didn't know what to do. And Pandavas died, and his whole support was that. And crying, he was returning from Ganga, and then Vidura comes and says, "I came in search of you. What, to give me the news, bad news?" "No, to give you good news." "What is the good news?" "Pandavas died. What else can be good news?" Then he said, "Pandava did not die." "What?" "Yes, I give you the plan." He gave the whole plan. This happened. Then Bhishma says to Indra, "Why didn't you tell me all this? If I tell you all these things, you will tell your blind king." I don't want that to happen. So I wanted to tell you later. And he says, "Nobody knows it. You keep it with you." Bhishma. But then what will happen to Pandavas? Wait, one day they will come back. And that's where Krishna's plan.
Super.
So therefore, Swadharme Nidhanam Shreyaha Paradharmopayavaha. It has such a big background behind it. Bhagavad Gita shloka. Similarly, like that, there is another shloka which has so probably next week we'll talk about it. Yada yada dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyutthanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijanyam. Then followed by the another sutra, Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya chiduskruta dharma samsthapanarthaya sabhavami yuge yuge. That means you should see Paritranaya sadhuna. I mean, Glanir Bharata, Yata Dharma. It is connected with the idea Dharma Samsthapanarthaya. That's what is important. That's why we need to do that. Next week we'll look at it. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
I'll just see if any question is written. Kunti Devi's action going to Karna request for 2 conditions. It is dharma or adharma or swadharma. Kunti Devi, she goes to Karna when the war is decided. Next class we'll start with that. Okay, Tulsi ji, next class we can start with that. Thank you so much.